thanks to United Way funds, I have been able to bring trauma-informed training into PSD. I lose track. 5 or 7 years ago, our departments of human services in Colorado got together. It was a meeting, big meeting down in Denver, and determined that, yes, indeed, kids in foster care in the DHS system have trauma. And so as they were working as a group of child protection agencies, they said, yeah, the schools got to get on board. The schools have to get on board. So I took that as, Melanie, get your act together, let's get rolling here, you know? So, because of United Way funds, I have been able to pay for educators to come to anything from a 6-hour training that I provide to get an educator out of a building, which I'm sure you can appreciate is not a small feat. What I can do is pay for their substitute, which makes administrators really, really happy. They let their teachers go because somebody's going to cover their class. So I've created a big menu of options for Poudre School District. Anything from a 6-hour training where we dig deep. I don't pretend to be a neurosurgeon or a brain scientist, but you know what? We got to talk about the brain. And we talk a lot about the brain when we're talking about kids and trauma. My hope was, when I started doing this, to have that light bulb go off for one educator to say, oh, wait a minute, that kid is not just being defiant. Maybe there's something more going on. And thankfully, I've seen a lot of those light bulbs going on. So in our trainings, we talk about, yes, the brain science and what's happening with these kids, from early trauma to kids that are new to our system, coming from other countries where they have experienced unspeakable traumas. And here they are, and there are kids in PSD, and we're going to educate them. So we do. So the long training, I do interventions. I don't just say, okay, you guys are going to go do this. We really get down in the weeds with this and figure out, how do you need to set your classroom up differently? What do we need to do? A kid needs to feel safe in order to learn. And that's something that resonates with the crew that I usually am presenting to. Because educators want their kids to learn. They want to deliver that good material that they've prepped. But if a kid isn't feeling safe in the classroom, it's not going to happen. So we support our educators in terms of how are you going to roll this out in your classroom? What kinds of interventions are going to work with a trauma-impacted student? From that, it's been great to see teams and buildings. Nothing makes me happier when I have a whole team from a building come in for a training, and you can just see them generating those ideas. And you don't have to have trauma for these interventions to work. It's a good, it builds positive climate and culture in our buildings. A question that I always ask at the beginning of a training, I have the note cards on the table, like many of us who present to. We start with the index cards on the table, and I let them know this is not a share out, but jot down on that card, please, why you got into this business in the first place. Why did you choose to be an educator? Because I want to pull them back into that mindset that maybe in their early 20s or whatever, they thought, I can have positive impact on kids. Even those kids that may be those kids that are really challenging. And when they have an understanding of the impact of trauma on that kid, they tap into that compassionate heart that they see written on their little index card, and they walk out and things are different. What I love is the follow-up to that. When I have been asked to come into the classroom, hey Mel, walk through my classroom with me. Show me what you're talking about. What do I need to do different here? My mantra is a rocking chair in every classroom. People hear me say that. And actually, when I run into folks like at garage sales or at Home Depot, and they're buying a rocking chair because I told them to, it's like, yes, this is working. So kids can regulate in the classroom, and I have also seen teachers in rocking chairs doing we got a long ways to go. I'm happy to say I have turned over, I'm pushing right around 550 faculty, administrators, deans, educators, our psychologists, our social workers, our counselors, certainly my mental health team that I supervise gets the word out. And the work is never done, but again, thank you, United Way, for allowing me to do this, and we'll just keep going until they say enough. So, thank you.